In this video, I'm reviewing Fenty by Fenty. If you're new here, my name is Sarah and I'm a perfume reviewer. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel to join this All the Perfume community. And if you're not new, welcome back and thank you for all of your support, watching, liking and commenting on my videos. Firstly, thank you to Scene Group and to Fenty Beauty for sending me this perfume. And this video has been a long time coming because, not least, this perfume was launched in 2021, even longer ago than I'd realised. And the thing is, I really loved the original Rihanna perfume line. And of course, Fenty is Rihanna's brand. I have owned, worn and enjoyed all of those fragrances at some point, and I've talked about them a lot on here, so I will link below any previous reviews and collections for you to go back on. Then we had the launch of Fenty, and since this fragrance we've seen no more releases from that original Rihanna celebrity brand, and I love a celebrity fragrance, so I had my little bit of disappointment that, you know, Rihanna had gone into that world of the higher price points. But also with the marketing, they talked a lot about this being, you know, Rihanna's smell, it really representing her and being kind of like a signature. So I was thinking, but what was wrong with the others? Weren't they her? You know, they felt good enough to be. I will talk later on about some of those scents that I really loved. So I wanted to love it, but we had the higher price point, and yeah, I've tested it a few times before now, but had mixed feelings. So what I really wanted was what I've got now, to have my own bottle, to really wear it over time and really see what I thought about the Fenty scent. So here we are, I will get into it, and yeah, I've been excited about this one. I can't wait to share more of what I think. Let's take a look at the bottle and also the packaging. And I will say too that my high hopes for this scent weren't just Rihanna's perfume taste and the marketing for this, but I think Fenty is a really great brand. I use the lip oil from the beauty line that I buy myself, and the body butter from the skincare is really great too. So more reasons for me to hope and think this would be a good quality scent. I really like this blue and brown. Now, this combination reminds me of a jumper that Monica wore in Friends that made me love blue and brown together. So I won't keep the box, but I think it looks really nice with the bottle colour. It's quite simple. You've got the Fenty logo like just all the way around. And then Rihanna said she wanted everything about the scent to feel like her, and brown is her favourite colour. And she also says she is brown. She just wants everything to represent her. But she really wanted it to be a bottle where you could see the liquid and see what you were getting. Now on the top here, you've got in the lid, like indented, the Fenty logo. And I spent a little bit of time trying to work out what way up the logo goes the other day. And it's good, it feels like quality, and it's the biggest size. It's the 75 milliliter, but I'll talk later on about all the different ways that you can enjoy this scent. I think it looks great. It looks very classic and kind of signature, all the things they talked about in the marketing and what they wanted it to achieve, basically feeling like that kind of one Rihanna scent. Fenty is unique for being comprised only of middle notes. So you've got in here blueberry, which is quite unusual, tangerine, Bulgarian rose, geranium, magnolia, patchouli and musk. And I'm going to give it a sniff and tell you what my very first impression was, like just the first time I was able to head over to a Harvey Nichols, which is where it was exclusive to, and give it a sniff. So when I first smelt it, I thought it was similar to Elixir 11 from Kayali. Now that is what I would call a very pleasing smell, a rose scent. That one is rose and red apple. I enjoy it for personal reasons because it reminds me of some really nice celebrations. Not a me smell, enjoyable, but yeah, not a me scent. And for me, smelling Fenty for the first time in Harvey Nichols, it wasn't a love because I thought, I've got in Elixir what I can smell in this one. Now, me being me, I went and visited this in store a handful of times because I wanted to like it. There had been that build up, it's Rihanna, all of those things I've said before. And there was somebody working at the counter for Fenty who said it is better on the skin and it will smell differently. And that's what this test and review have all been about. So, at home and giving it a proper chance, I found that this is much more fruity in the opening than I remember it. It no longer to me is that kind of simple rose, what's the fuss about scent. It is that unusual blueberry and the perfect amount of tangerine where the blueberry is leading. So I'm not going to put this in my kind of orange category. My Valentino, albeit very lovely scents that feel orange and quite typically designer. This is blueberry and a spicy rose. So the rose is there, but it doesn't feel as simple as this is one of my rose perfumes. It's spicy rose, it's magnolia, and the geranium comes later. It's also a unisex scent. This is how this one was marketed, and I felt from it being spicy that it did that job. I can believe this as a unisex scent, but I think it leads towards typically feminine tastes and scents. So I was pleased that this had a lot more depth to it than my first impression, and I found that on the skin it was tangerine and it was the musk and patchouli. It's meant to be all of those notes working as middle notes, but for me there still feels like an opening and a middle and a base to this. The opening is fruity and spicy rose, the middle is the flowers, and then it is the musk and the patchouli with a little bit of tangerine in the base. And I think part of the problem I had with this perfume was what I experienced with Lady Gaga's The Fame all those years ago when that one was launched, and the build up and the expectation that you'd be smelling something really quite different. And I remember feeling the same about Cosmic by Kylie Jenner as well. An overhyped scent perhaps at first, and then you smell it, and as a perfume lover, as a reviewer and a collector, I smelt this at first and thought, well, it reminds me of something else, so it's not so unique. But like I'd hoped, with the time to actually smell it and wear it properly, I could appreciate all the different notes in it and see that it is more nuanced than being a rose scent. I've come to the conclusion that this is a well done scent. I found it quite addictive on the skin, and it did feel like a bit of a treat to wear. I asked my husband what he thought of it, and he liked it on me, but admitted he doesn't think it's a scent he would wear. And he actually said to me, is it unisex? And then he was like, oh, that shouldn't affect what I think of it. You know, you want to just be thinking about whether you like it or not what the marketing was. But yeah, he prefers it as a scent on me, and I would agree that it leans feminine. So it feels like a treat, it feels well done, and it lasted too, and it passed my bed covers test, because this morning making the bed, I smelt a little bit and I was like, yeah, this is one of my long lasting perfumes. I think I'm reminded as well of Nirvana Rose by Elizabeth and James, and that is a really great line that I've reviewed in the past. So this scent, if you haven't smelt it, but you've smelt Nirvana Rose, that's your little way into what this smells like. In terms of my feelings about this perfume, it reminds me of how I feel about Déjà Vu White Flower 57 from Kayali, where I think that one is also well done, it's sophisticated, it's perfectly signature scent worthy, but not quite a me scent, one that I will enjoy to wear as a treat, as a little bit of a costume for fun, but not actually a perfume that, you know, fits into the scent profiles I usually like. So a really great perfume, and I think that this does feel like a perfume you could wear all year round, because the fruits help out with that. It leans a little bit wintry because of the spice, but the fruits bring it round to something you could wear all year. Is it worth it? Is Fenty by Fenty worth the money? And I have so much to say on this topic. Not least because we've had a celebrity basically go from having a celebrity affordable line to, you know, a higher end price, and that is a whole nother topic for another day. I'd love to make a video all about people in the public eye who've done just that, but also because I'm sure previously whenever there were discounts on the Fenty site, they hadn't ever applied to the perfume, and that used to annoy me, and Fenty aren't the only brand that have done that. But really happily, in the last couple of months, when there have been discounts, it's been on the perfume too, and I've loved that. I've loved that it's more accessible, and it got me back interested in the Fenty scent again. But we've had other things make this perfume more accessible too. This is the 75ml, which retails for £115, so if you watch my videos, you know that I don't like to pay more than £100 for a perfume usually, but you can now buy what they're calling a mini, a 30ml, but at £65, that feels quite substantial and like a good price to pay for this scent. So I love that the brand have made it more accessible with a smaller bottle. You can get your travel sprays as well, and it's really good to see great value too with like this travel duo that they're selling, where you buy your 30ml, but it comes with a 10ml travel spray and you only pay £2 more. Fenty also offer a replen service where I believe you pay every 3 months to receive the same product and you get 10% discount. Wouldn't that be nice? So yeah, that's a great service to run where you can be rewarded for your loyalty as such. I am very happy that there haven't been any more perfumes, ironically, because I feel like if this is the perfume, if this is what Rihanna feels really reflects her, I mean, I believe that people can change their mind if she wants to bring out something for summer, but it's nice to see that they've kind of built on this one rather than bringing out different versions, and that's great to see because you've now also got a solid perfume. There's like a hair and body mist and some really beautiful looking products to go with this scent. So that for me kind of feeds in with that image of this being the Fenty perfume, the Rihanna scent, and I like that. That's feel good. So is it worth it? I would say this is totally signature scent worthy for the fact it smells good, it lasts, it feels like a really good fit for the Fenty brand, and you can get all those other beautiful products too and not pay too much anymore. So yes, for my taste, I've said it really already, haven't I? I would want this. I would pay my own money, but I would get the 30ml, and actually really that duo would be what would appeal to me, to get a bit more for my money and get the 10ml as well. So that is how I think to enjoy Fenty with a smaller bottle and perhaps not spraying too much. It's well done. It, as I'd said as well, can be all year round because the fruit kind of takes it out of being too much in the spicy territory. So I'm happy. I got what I wanted. I appreciate and like it a lot more than I did. I see it now as my kind of Déjà vu white flower, similar feeling scent rather than like kind of that rose that I didn't need. So yeah, it's good. I love Fenty just as much as I did, and I'm going to tell you about some layering combinations as well. I managed to get my favourite brand involved. These are 2 Kayali scents that I layered with Fenty yesterday, and I guess with the fact that Fenty originally reminded me of Elixir 11, maybe I was in a Kayali mindset, maybe it's the rose, I don't know, or just that they're my favourite brand and they're readily available at home on a big display. So in the dark in my hallway last night, I was endeavouring to layer Fenty with Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper 25, this very pretty romantic smelling scent that is a lot like Lush's Rose Jam. Accidentally, next to it, I reached for Invite Only Amber 23. And this smelled so good with Fenty. It was like smelling this, but warmer and more wearable, I would say, because myself, I love that this is boozy, rum and wintry, but with Fenty, it felt warmer and more pared down. It was good. Realising my mistake, I had to then try it with what I'd been aiming to try it with, and with this very pretty scent, it was lots of the rose and felt very romantic. I liked it. And my husband preferred this combination, the Fenty with the Sweet Diamond. So that was fun to do. I loved my layering combinations, and that's another way I'll be enjoying my Fenty fragrance. I couldn't film this video on Fenty without throwing it back to my beloved original Rihanna line, and it's taken a lot of willpower to not talk about every single scent, but as I said, I've got previous videos for you to go back and look on where I talk about all of them. Now, these are my favourites really, and I just think it was such a great celebrity line for the way the scent smelled. They were really good perfumes, very underrated, I felt, and I've talked about Rogue here an awful lot before. But the thing that makes me think that that line could have stayed around and we could have had Fenty at the same time is that it didn't feel like a trendy perfume line. It felt very classic. All the images were very beautiful, and in fact I used to display, it was the box for Kiss I used to have on a display at home on like a dresser. I just thought it was a really well done line. So yeah, I, as with a lot of my perfumes, need to get round to wearing these more, but 10 years ago for sure I was wearing these perfumes a lot. Let's talk about my favourites. Okay, we've got here Rebelle, and it is in competition with Rogue as my absolute favourite. This was not my first bottle, this is my third, and I love this perfume for its ginger, its strawberry, and it smells like the perfect musky evening scent. That's so feel good. Spicy strawberry. I just associate this with going out for the evening, and it's really well done. And if you want something similar, you've got Caramel Dream by Sabrina Carpenter, thankfully, because that one is still available. So I love that, and not enough people talked about this perfume. I think it just should have been more popular. Rogue I always found to be really unisex, and this is lemon and suede and patchouli. I have to give it a sniff. And this is, oh, this is Evenings Out for me 8 years ago in Brighton. Not my first bottle, but it does need some love, this new one. I loved how affordable this perfume was. So all the time it was easily available, I used to talk about it a lot, hoping that people would go and discover it for themselves. I think it was easily unisex, but it wasn't. It was marketed as a women's scent, and you had Rogue Man. And maybe 2 years ago now, my husband and I discovered that one for him, and we love it. And the little 15ml bottle was selling for £6. So we bought an extra 5 of them. So that is stashed away here, and Sam loves to wear that scent. It's rosemary in that one, if I remember rightly, and it smells really good. On the end here, not what I would call a me scent, you've got your tuberose in Reb'l Fleur, but oh, it's of a time, and it reminds me of buying my first bottle on a visit to Boston. Why you chipped, Mr. Bottle? Probably because it was in my drawer unit, where I've previously not kept perfumes in very, in their best state. But this is tuberose, I'll get the words out, coconut, and it's bold. And this could have been the Rihanna perfume, I think. I can imagine her smelling like this. It's really good. This can't be my fault. This comes off. In an ideal world, I would just buy myself a little 30ml. But I think this is hard to get now, so I will have to just put up with my wonky bottle. But there were so many others that were great in the line too. You had your theme of plum, actually, in a lot of Rihanna scents. They were long lasting. You had some tropical ones in there too, with Riri, a really great celebrity line that I miss. But hey, it's great that, I still have them in my collection to enjoy. I just think it would have been nice to have seen these more affordable options kept alongside Fenty too. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this review of the Fenty fragrance. I would love to know what you think of this perfume, and I'm here for all of your chat about the previous Rihanna celebrity line as well. I'd love to know if you've worn, or in fact still wear, any of those fragrances. Please do let me know, and of course if you have any questions too. Remember to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and also to subscribe to my channel. Your support means so much to me. You can go over and find me on Instagram, where I post pretty much daily, and on TikTok too. Thank you again, and I will see you in my next video.